Are you ready to rock?
Greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, Robert Meyer Burnett. I invite you to watch and listen to the Designing Hollywood podcast, brought to you by Martika Ibarra and the great, legendary Hollywood costume designer, Marilyn Vance. I am afforded the wonderful opportunity of co-hosting the show. If you are interested in the magic of Hollywood, the design of Hollywood, the clothes of Hollywood, watch the Designing Hollywood podcast, available wherever you get your podcasts from, or find the video version on YouTube. That's right, the Designing Hollywood podcast. Why would you ever want to miss it? Especially if you love the movies. Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your Duke of Dope Discourse, your master of fun and wonder, your viceroy of verisimilitude, yada, yada, yada. Most importantly, your pharaoh of physical media, Robert Meyer Burnett. And this is Let's Get Physical Media, episode 79. 79, not as fun as 69, but still better than 89, I'll tell you. And this isn't a show. It isn't a show without your favorite German, my favorite German, the world's favorite German, Mr. Dieter Bastian, all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. Dieter, how are you today?
Good evening, Rob. You see, I'm dressed for the occasion.
You're repping Cobra Kai up the wazoo there,
Yeah.
buddy.
Because it's Cobra Kai weekend. So what else would I have done over the weekend? And watching Cobra Kai season 5. And I'm really happy to report, totally enjoyed it. But the first 2 episodes were a little bit mediocre from my perspective.
Uh-oh.
Because after season 4, we already knew, no spoilers, don't worry, but we already knew that Miguel will head to Mexico to search for his father, and that storyline wasn't really interesting enough for me, because the show is not the most expensive one. So probably, Rob, that Mexico set we can build in your backyard, probably around the pool, you know.
You actually could. You could totally shoot
without any problems. But from the episode 3rd on, it went straight into greatness that we already knew from Cobra Kai. So I had a great time with the season already. And they actually could have finished it here pretty damn good, the show. But we will get a 6th season. I hope there's still gas left in the tank. But with every Cobra Kai season, I fear this will be the season where they dropped the ball. But so far, the showrunner surprised me again. So
well, that's always a good thing to hear.
Yeah. Fingers crossed. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here. Here I am, rock you like a hurricane. And welcome to the B&B Motel, for Let's Get Physical Media, where we have physical media, but we talk everything and everywhere all at once here at
I see what you just did there. We talk everything everywhere all at once. That was pretty good. I'll give that up to you. So tell the folks at home what you were just convincing me to go do here in Los Angeles. What do you want me to go do?
Yeah, Rob, for me, go and see Rammstein, because they're on their US tour at the moment, and they will be residing in Los Angeles at the Memorial Coliseum on September 23rd and 24th. And as far as I know, you can still get tickets. So Rob, please do that for me. Take it in. You know, a little bit of a palate cleanser after John Williams. You've seen John Williams, you know. You go to Rammstein, you know.
I'd have to go with Dave Parker. I couldn't go to Rammstein without Dave Parker.
Exactly.
I have to go with him.
Get 2 tickets, Rob. Take it in. And like you always said, report back to me on the Let's Get Physical Media after you've seen it. Perhaps take some 2000 sunburn with you, because it could be hard, Rob. Depending on the tickets you get. So, Rob, if possible, do that for me. It's a Friday or Saturday, so around the weekend, which could be preferable to do, you know. So after the show, Rob, please get your Rammstein tickets. Do it.
I will try and do that. It's tough, you know, splurging on things lately. with this
Yeah.
house business, it gets tough sometimes, but I will try.
Yeah.
I guess because everyone in Tom Jr. Jackson, the goof emeritus, is telling everyone in the chat to wish Gary Banjo Sandwich Worthington
Exactly.
a happy birthday. I think that from me to you, Gary, and from Dieter to you, a very happy birthday, Gary Banjo Sandwich Worthington. What a great middle name to have. So happy birthday, dude. One more twirl around the sun. So good for
Nicely done.
you. Might help if I was actually on camera when I said that. So happy birthday, Gary Banjo Sandwich Worthington. Sorry you couldn't see my face when I said it, but I assure you, I meant it. So Dieter, I want to start out with some news right off the top.
Okay.
Big earth-shaking news. Criterion is teaming up with Disney. And
Wait, what?
oh, you didn't? Oh, well, let me show you. Criterion is teaming up with Disney, and their first release is WALL-E. And WALL-E is coming out 4K. They're putting it out 4K. The new 4K transfer, supervised by Andrew Stanton himself. So WALL-E is coming out, probably the first of many releases. I saw somebody say, well, maybe they'll release Song of the South and David Lynch's The Straight Story. We can only hope. I mean, what I would like to see is a lot of the old Touchstone movies like Down and Out in Beverly Hills and Ruthless People that we haven't got on disc, which I want to get on disc, but we don't. So this is a pretty earth-shattering announcement from Criterion. I think it's coming out in November. So, Criterion has Disney released movies before, like Armageddon. Armageddon was, I think, a Touchstone movie. So Criterion has put out movies like that before, but not classic animation. There's a lot of stuff I'd love to see them. I'm going to pitch them a John Carter release. John Carter in 4K.
Of course. Yeah.
Because if they're working with Andrew Stanton on WALL-E, why not just bite the bullet, guys? John Carter, come on, buddy. So, Dieter, since this is the first time you're hearing this, what do you think of Criterion dipping their toes into Disney's library?
That is a marriage that I wasn't expecting at all, considering we know the stuff that Criterion is putting out. So that really comes out of nowhere, Rob, because I haven't heard that news at all. Not stumbled across it.
Well, you know what I find?
So
with Disney is divesting themselves from physical media releases. They're just not interested with Disney Plus. WALL-E is on Disney Plus. Yeah. So for Criterion to partner up with Disney, to me, it definitely signals that they're done with physical media. Like Disney, they're out. They're out of the family. They're just they're done. They're done with physical media, and it's great that Criterion's picking up the slack, but also a lot of these movies that they're releasing have been put out, so Criterion has to make each one of these releases extra special. And this release, this Criterion release, they'll tell you what's new on it. It is a Dolby Vision HDR presentation with a Dolby Atmos audio track. So it is, nice. Which is not, it has an alternate 5.1 DTS, the original track they put out. And then it has audio commentary with Andrew Stanton. Then new programs on Stanton's cinematic influences and production designer Ralph Eggleston's color scripts. Then it's got a bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff. It's even got the documentary The Pixar Story by Leslie Iwerks. So it's chock full of stuff. And
this will be the first title of their.
This is the first title. They have not announced what else. It just said, the press release says Criterion has partnered with Disney and has plans to release on 4K Andrew Stanton's WALL-E. So, hey, who knows? Maybe this could be a one-off, although I doubt it. I know, being the David Lynch fans that they are, they've never released. I could absolutely see them going after David Lynch's The Straight Story. It would not surprise me in the least. Boy, I really hope they put out Richard Rush's Color of Night.
And it will be interesting how that title will be sold, WALL-E, considering it is on Disney Plus, And a lot of people already have some sort of physical media of that movie. Will be interesting how that movie is selling.
I mean, it absolutely will. I mean, look, as we see the great contraction happening in physical media, which is occurring, the boutique labels will reign supreme. And, Criterion has come full circle. They're now basically in the position that they were with Laserdiscs.
Yeah.
Because physical media has become a niche market, and 4K is the nichest of the niche. So I can see them that they're going to dominate. They can go back and release their entire back catalog again in 4K. But we'll see what they do. It's going to be really, really interesting to see how this partnership shapes up. But I think it is exciting.
Totally. Always good. Good. When somebody, even if somebody else puts out the stuff for other people.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all goes down. So anyway, everybody, Criterion partnering with Disney, earth-shattering news of the week.
Oh.
We don't usually get earth-shattering news, but hey, there you go.
Yeah.
You know what other earth-shattering news happened this week, Dieter? I got something from Amazon I'd never received before.
Okay.
I don't
email.
know. Yes, an email. Here is the email. Okay. Here's the email. Hi, Robert. Unfortunately, a problem occurred during shipping, and we had to cancel your delivery. The package is being returned, and we will issue a refund within 3 to 5 business days after the return is processed. We're very sorry for the inconvenience. And what was the movie? Star Trek V, The Final Frontier on 4K. I don't know if this is suspect. I don't know if Amazon is telling me I shouldn't own this movie. But I'm like, I already called Bill Shatner, and I'm like, hey, yo, Bill, what's up with this, man? Amazon won't deliver my movie. Or your movie.
But Rob, it's now my movie. This message is not new to me. This I've gotten 1 or 2 times. I've gotten this with help me out, Edge of Tomorrow that I ordered from the UK. I've gotten that email.
So does this mean like
damaged? The package is just gotten damaged during the transition, and then it goes back.
Yeah,
but at least Rob, I've got mine.
Oh, dude.
But Rob, I'm always taking the foil off before I show the title, but I fear I will not have reversible cover here. So let me open this up and let me see how disappointed I will be if there's not a reversible cover artwork, because this is not going to fly. And with the
man, is that actually on the artwork? Is that on the box?
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
Exactly.
You Germans.
So if there's not, it's the law, Rob, that it has to be this big. It's the law. So if there's not a reversible cover here, this will go to my friend and a worker colleague. He will buy them off of me, and I will get the American ones, which probably come with a slipcase too. So let me see how disappointed I am that this will probably not have a reversible cover artwork. Oh, I'm surprised, Rob. It has. It has. I'm saved, Rob. I'm saved.
Wow.
I was not expecting that from Paramount. Or here in Germany, it's actually, Rob, the Paramount titles are distributed by Universal, actually, here.
Wow, so they knew, they felt your pain, and you don't have to share your pain anymore.
No. And my worker colleague has to order them, the titles, himself. So I wasn't really expecting that they would deliver a reversible cover artwork. And of course, I've got those 2 that were missing from our Steelbook collection 1 to 4.
Now that doesn't come with an O-ring, a slipcase?
No. Unfortunately, the German one's not.
Wow, you guys got gypped. Jippers.
But I will open that up, and so I expect that we'll have a reversible cover artwork too. So I'm happy, because sometimes the cover on the front says it will have reversible cover artwork, but it doesn't says that here. So luckily, the German. But wait, what is this? What the hell is this?
I don't know. What is it?
Look at this shit, Rob. Look at this shit. I have a reversible cover artwork. So here, once again, the normal one. complete, Now look at the reversible, Rob. It's missing the top.
It's
bottom?
misprinted. It's misprinted. Look
Yeah.
at they fucked it up on the cutter when they cut that thing.
Exactly, Rob. So after being thrilled, now I'm disappointed again.
Wow. Look at that. What the fuck?
at
They can't even. That's actually a misprint. I mean, it's just.
Yeah.
This is the world that we live in. This is the world that we live in. We have to live in a world of mediocrity. By the way, that never would have passed German QC. But look at this, dude.
They are probably printed here, Rob.
So on my Star Trek disc, see, you got the O-ring, bro. Now
Nice,
people are going to
nice.
say that okay, do I need the steel books? I don't really need. I've got so many different steel books, Star Trek stuff. I just like having this, So for my Star Trek week, I'm glad. Wow, dude, I'm sorry. I did. I only got
What a start.
Star Trek 3's been delayed.
Yeah.
Don't know where Star Trek 3 is. Have no idea.
So you bought every title singly.
Yeah, I bought every.
single edition.
So I did get this.
Awesome.
All I got this week. So I got Star Trek 2. I got Star Trek 6, like you, and I got Star Trek 4, The Voyage Home,
Awesome.
and they've all got O-rings. Star Trek 3
Nice.
just delayed. Why is it delayed? Don't know. Is there some weird cult of Star Trek 3 fans out there? Star Trek 5, I reordered it. It should be here today. And then I bought the British version of the motion picture,
Me too.
which I showed yesterday, or I showed last week. It is in transit. So, and as I found out, the packaging is better on the British version. So I'm excited to get that. It hasn't come yet. The only other thing I got this week, just because there wasn't really much stuff that I ordered, but I finally got in this. I got, Second Sight's Dog
Ooh,
Soldiers,
Awesome, Rob.
and this. What a great disc! God, I love Second Sight. If I ever get to make, as I'm spitting all over this, if I ever get to make Free Enterprise the Blu-ray, I would love to have Second Sight release it because, man, they do a great job. I mean, this thing comes with, obviously, a bunch of swag. It's got the discs. I love this new artwork. And it comes with a monster of a book. And this book has got, here you go. Monster of a book. And this book is, it's like a diary of the making of the movie. It's got all kinds of pictures in it. This is great. And this was a movie that people thought we'd never get. Like the negative was missing for a while, and it's had a release here in the States. More cool artwork, but Second Sight, man, they always crush it, and their transfers are beautiful. So
I haven't got around to watch the movie. How it looks.
Oh, I threw it in. I mean,
Okay.
sure, it has limitations in the way it was shot, but it looks great. And
Awesome.
it has the
Because it never did, Rob.
right. It has the feel that you want. This will make a great double feature with Walter Hill's Southern Comfort. But yeah, so those are the discs: Star Trek Week and Dog Soldiers. That's my haul for the week. So
Okay, then I will show some titles to start before we delve into other stuff. We talked a little bit last week about that we are always a little bit pissed, of course, if a movie comes out on 4K as a on the digital streaming platforms, but the movie is only getting a normal Blu-ray release when it comes to, of course, Black Phone.
Mm-hmm.
This is the German one, which luckily got a reversible cover artwork too. So I've got Black Phone this week. And since Jaws 3D is not playing here in our movie theaters, I have to get for the 30th in shark movies. I bought Shark Bait.
Come on.
And and the original title is Jet Ski, actually. It's Jet Ski. And I watched it before we started the show. Actually, not that bad. It was shot in Malta. It was nicely done. So I was expecting way more stuff, studio-like or green screen. So it's really nicely done. But the ending is a little bit where the movie could wrap up. And you always think, perhaps there is something happening. Still happening? No. So actually, not bad, Rob. Shark Bait. Not bad. Not bad. In all the shark movies out there. The next one I think I saw a review on Red Letter Media about it. Hope it's good. Cat in the Bag from the UK. And I hope it's not the same with all the people that watch the Jam Douchey Douche. All my friends hate me is the title. So I hope it's not the same for me. And I heard good things, I think, about...
Well, if BFI put it out, it's respectable.
Yeah.
It's respectable for BFI.
There was a Red Letter Media combined review, but I don't remember the other movie they
I actually relate
reviewed.
totally to that movie, that title.
Yeah, all my friends hate me, but
It's true.
I forgot. It comes so cool with the DVD, and it has a booklet, which is really, really nice.
Yeah, BFI does a great job.
Yeah, so it's a dual format. On All My Friends Hate Me. Then this is not a new one, and I decided to get the English version because it was now price reduced, and I like the English cover artwork better. Cat in the Bag with Jean Dujardin and Adele Henkel. I don't know if you have seen it, Rob. Deerskin.
No.
It's Jean Dujardin and his famous jacket that he wears in the movie. So I don't know what I'm in for.
By the way,
Deerskin.
I saw a trailer this morning when I got up
Yeah.
for a French movie that Jean Dujardin stars in called November.
Okay.
And it's all about the terrorist attacks in Paris, like when the Bataclan was attacked. It looks fucking awesome. And I knew nothing about this movie. It opens in October in France. But to me, this shit's top of the list of must-see stuff.
And what does he play?
It looks like he plays the leader, like he's a cop.
Okay.
You know, he's an anti-terrorist cop. I don't know exactly what he's playing, but it's a big ensemble cast. It looks like it's beautifully made, action-packed. I mean, anytime anyone is going out, you make a movie about Islamic terrorists, I'm in. Like The Siege, you know, with Denzel Washington. I'll watch any movie, not just Islamic terrorists, but any terrorists. Let's face it, I mean, because terrorists make great villains. And when you're going after villains, you know, you need great heroes to go after them. And, you know, the French, it's so funny because you got female cops, like like in the movie, this would never fly in America. Like Jean, whoever he plays, he just smacks some woman in the face for not following procedure. And you're
so he's still OSS 1117.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at this going, wow, this would never fly in the United States. But it looks like it's, you know, it's a realistic procedural of what happened in the wake of those terrible, terrible, terrible attacks. And, you know, it was, I don't know if they dropped it online today because it's in America, it's the anniversary of 9/11.
Yeah.
It's the 21st anniversary of 9/11. But it's in case you forgot what happened 21 years ago. Here's a reminder of what happened in Paris. But it looks fucking great. So go.
And the title is November.
It's just called November. So go online, go on YouTube, look up November. It looks great. Now let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Did Barbarian open in Germany?
Unfortunately not, Rob. Unfortunately not.
Don't read anything about it. Just go see it.
I will. I was already trying to do that, Rob. I know a little bit about the beginning, you know, with the B&B.
That's all you need to know.
Okay.
But if you and I ever really had a B&B, I think that it would be the B&B that's in no, because actually it's not really B&B. It's a it's an Airbnb. So, but yeah.
When did you see it, Rob?
I saw it 2 days ago.
2 days ago.
Yeah, on Thursday night. Thursday night.
So you were thrilled with the movie too,
dude.
Okay. Nice.
It's so. I had read the script, so I knew what was coming, but it was really well done. Kudos to the director. He wrote and directed it. And, you know, when I read the script, it was interesting because I was like, can this work? I didn't really know if it was going to be able to work, but it works. It does. So it totally works.
Why not look at the box office? How did the Barbarian do?
Oh, it's funny you ask. You know what? I didn't look. I hope it did well. I mean, it didn't cost
Perhaps
a
a
lot.
little surprise hit on our hands.
It is, in fact, hang on, no, I went to the wrong place.
Yeah.
Let's see. Wow. Oh my God. So, here we go. Minions. Okay, wait a second. Here's where we're. Okay, here's the new titles in the mix. Oh, is this international box office? Yeah, this is international box office. Hang on. Let me go down and not find international. Find regular box office. Also, the new trailer for Spielberg's movie, The Fabelmans, came out.
Yeah.
And that also looks great. Here's the box office. Some good word of mouth has prompted. I love that Barbarian came out from Disney. Some good word of mouth has prompted Disney 20th Century Studios' new Regency Barbarian to come in higher than anticipated at $10 million. Ditto for their Star Studios' Brahmastra Part 1 Shiva, which is an Indian, it's a Bollywood film that's kind of like a shared universe like the MCU. And it made $4.4 million in the number 2 spot, which is astonishing for a Bollywood production.
Yeah.
Astonishing. The hope here for studios on a horror title such as Barbarian is at least 3 times multiple off its opening at this point in the pandemic, or at least that number. Scream and The Invitation tracked at 2.7, the latter going with an 18.8 million running total. Where Bodies off its 3.1 million wide opening, currently at 11.1 million. What has marveled many, but again, you have to spend money to make money, is how Universal Blumhouse's The Black Phone has scared up a 3.8 multiple off of its excellent 23.6 million opening for a current 89.7 domestic take. Now, I'll tell you, man, the horror business, the theatrical horror business is good. And if you follow the Blumhouse model, if you make indie horror, I mean, they made Lee Whannell's The Invisible Man for $8 million, and they made over $100 million. If you come up, and Barbarian is a surprising, unique horror film that it subverts expectations, but it does so in a great way. But I got.
Do we know the budget drop of the movie?
I don't, but they shot it in Bulgaria. They shot it in Sofia, where we shot Hills Run Red. And, you can get a lot of, I would love to go back and produce a movie and shoot it in Sofia. I loved being there. I loved the crew. Like, our crew spoke 5 different languages. I'm like, this is the smartest movie crew ever. And really great crews. The only problem with shooting in Sofia is this movie's set in Detroit, and in Sofia, nothing looks like it looks in the United States. Nothing.
Well, Rob, Mexico didn't look like Mexico in Cobra Kai, even if I wasn't in Mexico once. But I don't believe that was Mexico where they shot the stuff.
Well,
what would you think about? What would you think would the budget be
on Barbarian?
Just from seeing the movie. I
mean, I can't. I mean, look, it had great, really great producers like Roy Lee on it. Maybe he took a big fee. I don't know what the upfronts are on this thing, but it was all unknowns. I mean, I would imagine, looking at the movie, I could be wrong. I would say less than 8 million or less. I mean, because it's a one location, kind of a one location film, and there's no reason for it to have cost money, a lot of money. And if they made it for a lot of money, like, look, I'll tell you one thing. We made Hills Run Red for $4 million. And should I say that? Well, I don't care. It was a long time ago. And it was Silver Pictures. It was Dark Castle. And I'm sure they probably took $1 million for their own fee. So we made it really for $3 million, let's say. And we got a lot of bang for our buck in Sofia. And this, because they had a single location, I mean, they had to clearly build sets. I'm sure that they were able to keep that budget down. And it just goes to show you, when you have a great idea, a great director, and great execution, that, you don't... Here's the thing. When you're making a theatrical movie, I mean, this is the Rob Burnett philosophy of theatrically released films. It doesn't matter how much money you're spending. What does matter is the craft has to look like it belongs on a big screen. Like when you watch like Sharknado, you know an Asylum movie does not have any business being theatrically released.
Yeah.
But, you know, even when you look back at a lot of the grindhouse movies of the 70s, whether it was Last House on the Left or Texas Chainsaw or something, anyone that was making those movies, the only place that movies would play was in the theaters or on drive-in screens.
Yeah.
So there was an attempt made by the filmmakers that they made their movies. This is a weird thing to say. It's a philosophical theory I have, that they had to make their movies look like they belonged on the big screen. And we kind of lost that with direct-to-video movies and all that. There's even the way movies are shot. Like a lot of people, inexperienced filmmakers, don't know how to use very basic tricks in terms of how to shoot things to make them look. Like, for instance, if you want to make movies look more expensive than they are, you get closer up and you get much wider. Because cheap movies, everyone's shooting them basically with 50-50 lenses. And the coverage is very medium shot, but you get close up to people and you get far away and have big wide masters, especially if you've got any kind of exterior shots, your movies look more expensive than they are. And the more camera movement you have helps, and obviously coverage. The more coverage you can shoot.
And make it 235-1, like John Carpenter did. That's
exactly right. And if you're going to make it 235-1, shoot truly anamorphic, widescreen anamorphic, but of course that's a lot. It's a lot more expensive to shoot anamorphic because you need more light and more time. And if you can, shoot with two camera crews, but that's more expensive. So you're always getting A and B cam when you're shooting. But hey, that's just me.
So Barbarian will actually be landing on Disney Plus at some point.
I don't know about that.
Okay.
But I mean,
Hulu,
10 million for Barbarian. Really great.
And probably
result.
Hulu. As a
maybe.
Okay.
Although there's breasts in the movie you might not ever want to see again. I'm just saying. I normally I'm a big advocate for boobs in movies. Maybe not so much in Barbarian. Just saying.
Okay.
I'll leave that up to you to decide. By the way, Stubble McShave sends in a super chat and says, "Do you think Disney and the other studios may release titles on physical or license it out when they are not streaming much by people anymore?" That's interesting. Wow, Brian Doyle. These are questions that go together. Brian Doyle says the disc father / buy physical media has just tweeted that the entire Disney catalog is now open for licensing on physical media.
This is true?
I don't. I mean, maybe that's true, but I find that difficult to believe. Only because Disney, like if I rolled in, I'm like, I'd like to license Snow White. And they have a live action Snow White coming. I don't think they're going to let. I would say that maybe if you carve out their animated classics, there's a lot of maybe, like, for instance, I would believe that Island at the Top of the World, which is a live action Disney movie, that the live action Disney movies or look, if that's true, Criterion, I've got let's see. I've got 4 words for you, Criterion. 20,000, actually 5 words. Is 20,000, I guess 20,000 is 2 words. I don't know. Fuck it. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Disney, if Disney's licensing out their titles, I want 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea on 4K, Dolby Atmos, UHD Blu-ray. Give me what I want. Give it to me right now. Give it to me, Disney. Give it to me now.
Let's see about that licensing.
That's really interesting. So Stubble's asking, I think, I don't think that, here's the problem. When physical media is going to be gone in between 5 and 10 years. I mean, there'll still be people making it, but who's going to make the players? So we're basically on a limited time frame for physical media. And the problem that I have is that because most people are only going to stream the big mainstream stuff, all of cinema history is going to be lost, and anything that isn't totally mainstream. I mean, if I was a billionaire right now, I would start snapping up the rights in perpetuity throughout the universe of all of the famous grindhouse, low-budget horror, sci-fi. I would be buying the rights to all of those films, so I owned them lock, stock, and barrel. And I would start my own streaming channel that was only cult, horror, science fiction, thriller, action, adventure, whatever. Like, I would buy shit like Stone Cold. I would
Stone Cold.
I would go and buy all the rights. I would remaster that shit in 4K, and I would be slowly building up because these titles are the ones that are going to go first. All the weird, crazy shit, and I would put it on a streaming service, and I would set it up because I'd become a billionaire because I don't know how, but if I was, this is what I would do to protect the low-budget grindhouse cinematic legacy of genre films, cult titles. And maybe I'd call it, I don't know, cult TV, some shit like that.
You will be doing the streaming service for Vinegar Syndrome, practically.
Well, yeah, I mean, no, and I would let those companies, I would actually let them retain the rights. Anybody that had physical media, like they could have the rights to release physical media. I would just buy everything for a streaming service. So there would be a repository for, all of these movies that are never going to survive because they're out of the ordinary, they're strange, they're odd. So they just won't survive. I don't think they're not going to survive forever. I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
So that's what I would do.
Okay. Do we have some other super chats to go through?
Nope, just those two.
Okay.
So, wait, that's not true. Justin Toner sends in a tip and says, "Hey, Rob and Dieter, not able to be in the chat for the show today, but I wanted to send in my support. This week, I got the 4K of Heat, along with Trek 4Ks of The Final Frontier, Undiscovered Country, and the Motion Picture Director's Edition. The motion picture still in the mail, but it arrives today."
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Since we already shown a little bit of Star Trek, I have two letters, Rob, about our favorite topic of Star Trek. The first one comes from Ian, Podracing Palpatine. He says, under the subject Mandela Effect, "Hello, Rob and Deeds, and all in the chat. I'm having a Mandela effect regards Star Trek 3, The Search for Spock. I clearly remember a scene near the end of the movie with a Vulcan child uttering some words to Spock as he was taken up to Mount Sulaya. She is mentioned in the film's credits and does appear in the comic book, and if memory serves, the novel. Does this footage exist, or am I just dreaming? Thanks for all you do. Yes, looking forward to celebrating the 25th year of the greatest movie I saw in LA in 1999, Free Enterprise. Love you all. Podracing Palpatine." Well,
some people liked it. Some people enjoyed it.
Podracing Palpatine, I don't know if you know it, but there were a lot of movies released in 1999. If you only have seen one,
it was actually a great year for movies.
I can help you. Rob, can you help him out considering the scene that he thinks he remembers with the mound? With
yes, hang on.
Child?
I believe that they had that,
Okay.
and it might have been a deleted scene, and
so he probably watched it as a deleted scene and thinks.
Yeah, I think there's pictures.
somehow-
I think there's pictures of it, but
Okay.
I mean, it wasn't a scene that was in the film. So, and in the book, the Mandela effect is pretty much definitely in effect here. But there was no baby that talked to Spock.
Okay. So it's like the brain in the pen.
Yes.
Okay. So another letter that comes to us considering Star Trek, of course, from our prolific letter writer Vincent from France. "Hi Rob, guten Tag wieder. As Star Trek the motion picture is hitting the 4K shelves, it's a great occasion to go back in time and talk about its underestimated director, Mr. Robert Wise. A lot of his earlier films have been given great releases on Blu-ray from Warner Archive. Blood on the Moon, an unusual noirish western. The setup, a film noir about box that everyone should own, The Moon, an unusual noirish western. That's the same. The setup, a film noir about box. Everyone here. He made a lot of interesting low-budget RKO's movies early in his career, including Curse of the Cat People, The Body Snatchers. For fans of sci-fi movies, I would recommend the Andromeda Strain. A stacked Arrow Blu-ray has been released, and The Day the Earth Stood Still. Warbuffs will love the Sand Pebbles and Run Silent, Run Deep. He's behind two of the most esteemed musicals, West Side Story and The Sound of Music. He also directed Star with Julie Andrews. Anyway, I won't quote every of his movies. This is my shout out to one of the great American directors who had such a wide-ranging career. Many of his movies are still available on Blu-ray. Enjoy. Rob Dieter, what are your favorite of his films? When can we expect Rob's cut of Star Trek The Motion Picture?
Well, that's, I mean, obviously, I'm a huge, look, I love West Side Story. I hadn't seen Sound of Music until very recently, which I love that. But, I mean, he made so many, like, The Haunting. I even like the Sand Pebbles. He made the Andromeda Strain, which I love. Audrey Rose, which I talked about. I like that. It's not the greatest movie in the world, but he made that in the Hindenburg in the 70s. Of course, Day the Earth Stood Still. Run Silent, Run Deep is a classic. So is Odds Against Tomorrow. So I don't know what my favorite is, but I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Robert Wise. I mean, you gotta love it. Curse of the Cat People, The Body Snatcher. He had such a long and prolific career. I'll tell you a story about Robert Wise. So there was a director named Stanley Kramer, and Stanley Kramer made like On the Beach, classic film. He was teaching at our local community college in Seattle. It's the next city over, Bellevue Community College. And he taught a lecture series on Saturday mornings. And I was a big fan of his growing up and all of that. And one day I had a math tutor. I had a problem with trigonometry and I was getting tutored on it. And my math teacher somehow knew Stanley Kramer. And one day Stanley Kramer like called me on the phone. And I get on the phone, and I'm like, hello, is this Bobby Burnett? And I'm like, yeah, this is Stanley Kramer. And I'm like the Stanley Kramer? Like On the Beach Stanley Kramer? And he goes, you know my work? And I was like, yes. And he goes, your math tutor told me to call you and invite you to come to my lecture series that I give. And I mean, it was fucking nuts. I'm like, Stanley Kramer's inviting me to his lecture series? I'm like, okay, I'll go. So every Saturday, it would be like a 4-hour lecture series, and he would bring up guests. And one of the guests he brought was Robert Wise. And it was just incredible. I mean, he was there talking about his life, talking about his career. Now, this was in 1984, 85. And Star Trek The Motion Picture had only been out for 6 years, you know. And I took my one sheet, my Star Trek The Motion Picture one sheet. And it was very funny when I went up and have him sign it. I unfurled the poster and he looks at it and he goes, oh, that one. And I was like, oh, man. Oh, dude.
Sucker punch.
But he signed it. He smiled. And he was very gracious and just a delightful man. But that's my Robert Wise Star Trek The Motion Picture one sheet
for me,
story. Rob,
does it solve your math problem?
Yeah, my math problem was solved. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I actually
Nice.
I got in my senior year in high school. I got an A. My math score was over 100% because I always answered the bonus questions. So yes, I aced math my senior year of high school.
Okay.
Shout out to my
Nice.
tutor, and I forget her name. I tell the story, and I forget the woman's name.
So our traveling to Mars can go on.
Yes, we can go.
Nice. Oh, okay. How we move on, Rob?
Yes.
Live chat or some super chat?
You know what? Let's see. Super chats. Let's see.
Yeah.
Hoop Baby 07 says, imagine a
Nice.
Disney Plus social media hybrid. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of scary. Kind of scary. Who knows? But yeah, what a bummer. I don't know what a Disney hybrid for social media would look like. A Disney Plus hybrid. I mean, we'll probably end up getting that. I mean, sure. And most of these places you can leave comments and stuff anyway. So, in a way, Kevin Rubio says the Monkees were actors who played musicians on a show. How is that different? I don't know. I don't know what you're referring to, Kevin.
Me neither.
Actors who played musicians on a show. I don't know. Roberto Suarez says Alec Peters was talking smack about Star Trek the Motion Picture yesterday. Made me angry. Well, Alec Peters doesn't know shit about Shinola, so him talking smack about Star Trek the Motion Picture, that's of course. I mean, the guy can't make 2 15-minute short films. He can't do it in 7 years. Dude, I worked on 24 episodes of an animated series for Netflix in my garage alone. So what can I say? So yeah, that's a bummer about Alec Peters talking smack about Star Trek the Motion Picture. But, he should stop talking smack about Star Trek and make those films that he's promised people for 7 years. But that's all I can say. And our friend Fernando Barrero says, hello, gents. R&B, good to see you survive the heat wave in your area. I thought the 4K Casablanca would be available by now. Any news? Yes, it's been announced. And by the way, there is, you know what? I forgot to find the picture of it. I saw a picture of, like, the Casablanca, the Ultimate Collection. I think it might be coming out in France. I'll have to ask George Feltenstein about this one. It looked like one of those Studio Canal releases, but I'm not sure who is putting it out. He asks, will there be a steelbook? I don't know, but there is a big overblown special edition that I really want to get of Casablanca. And then Fernando goes on to say, although Moonfall wasn't good, the artwork is. The artwork is nice. Is it worth getting the 4K? Hey man, I think you should get. You should get. Yeah, I will not be buying Moonfall, but I think if you buy it, it's a reminder of things that could always be better. But the fact that they got made at all.
Speaking of movies that didn't deserve to go to theatrical release.
Wow, and I saw it in a theater, man. I was hyped. I was hyped for Moonfall. Wow, even Moon, and I'm a Roland Emmerich fan. I mean, Day After Tomorrow was great. Independence Day is great. I like The Patriot. I even liked White House Down. And then it gotten worse and worse and worse. 10,000 Years BC.
What are you doing?
I'll watch, but even me, Moonfall tried my patience. It's just not good.
That says it all, Robert.
It's not good. His mom, Fernando's mom, says hello. Well, you right back at your mom, awesome. Mrs. Barrero. Give her my best. Give her my love. Wow, it's Connie Sang is here. The lovely Connie Sang says, hello, gents. Rob, looking forward to our hangout at the Arrow Theater next Sunday. Yes, we're going to see next theater the Hell Priest, a little Hellraiser action, and Peter Atkins is going to be speaking.
Nice.
So that's cool. I'm looking forward to that too. John Chung says, wow, Rob, I was watching you live at
wait a little minute. You will see the new Hellraiser movie?
No. It's classic. I think they're showing Hellraiser 2 and 3, and then Peter Atkins is speaking. Yeah, that's cool. John Chung says, wow, Rob, I was watching you live at 4 a.m., and I'm now watching you live at 2 a.m. Glad you bounced after not getting into D23. Yeah, that was... yeah, I didn't stick around, and the Hot Toys were all sold out, so why stay? And Kevin Rubio says, Spinal Tap versus Monkees from yesterday's online chat. Both are real, man. They are real. Did I say they weren't? Was I drunk? I believe in the Monkees, and I believe in Spinal Tap. They are real. Spinal Tap is performed. It's just like Kiss. Just because Spinal Tap began with a fictional documentary doesn't mean they're not real.
There you go. And Red Comment wanted to know if anyone has seen Barbarian. We already talked about it, Red Comment. You have to go back a little bit.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
And you need to see it. So there you go.
Okay.
So we're caught up.
We're caught up. Should I continue with the live chat from last week?
Absolutely.
Okay. Previously on Let's Get Physical Media, the Alex Sorber. I find Dieter to be hilarious, and I count that as a plus for myself. Altmetall. Damn, I better watch Rings of Power to prepare for the show. Because we talked a little bit about Rings of Power, which started last week. I'm caught up with the third episode. Still on board, but I'm getting that people are a little bit bored. Get a move on, And actually, it was now at the third episode that actually I found the Galadriel a little bit unsympathetic. But I'm still with the show. And of course, a lot of other people chimed in considering the show. The Alex Sorber, I don't care about something being too feminist. I care about Tolkien property being Tolkien. This is a disgrace. Pat Dean Card said, I saw Galadriel more taking the torch to defeat Sauron and not vengeance. The Alex Sorber again, the assets have zero respect for Tolkien. How can I have any for them? And Vigold says, it's amazing how 2 episodes is enough for people to completely torch a series or declare it's redemptive of something as ruinous as Game of Thrones Season 8. People need to get off the internet more. And Alex Sorber counters that. It's amazing how 2 episodes is enough for people to submit to that garbage. Okay. And Lord Toth was in the live chat, of course, and he said, know what I like about Rings of Power? The end credits, so I could watch something else. Peter Cunnington was in the live chat. Are you guys extremely worried that physical media will just vanish and everything will just be a subscription model? Perhaps at some point could happen, but I think we still have some years to go, Peter, okay, until this happens. This was a live chat that I think we forgot, Rob. It was from Paul Nolan, and he reminded us, hi Rob and Deeds, Bastard Part 2 drops on the 15th, probably meant August. This is the anime show on Netflix, I think. Bastards Part 2, but Paul, I haven't seen the first season, so I can't tell you anything about it, but he reminded us Part 2 has dropped. Simon Parkin was in live chat. Hey Rob, just back from watching Star Trek 2, The Wrath of Khan, Director's Edition in the cinema. Amazing seeing it on the big screen after 40 years. Well, I hope, Simon, you brought some tissues with you. Michaelito, if you have a chance to see Jaws in 3D, you should go see it. I wish that was on physical media, and I would have a 3D compatible TV set. Me too, Michaelito. Let's hope perhaps at some point we will get a 3D release of the movie, considering I hear only good stuff. And last week, Rob, we were a little bit upset considering the Crimes of the Future 4K release.
Oh yeah, you had to bring it up
announced.
Again. You had to bring it
because
up again.
Kenneth Crayley Jr. was in the chat. Let us know ahead of time for peep's sakes. Okay. South London reseller. Man was weird, but still enjoyed it. Okay. And considering your Johnny Mnemonic disc, Lord Toth, I have a soft spot for Johnny Mnemonic. It isn't a great movie, but nostalgia, I loved it at the time. Okay.
Wow, okay.
Video Hunter D, I feel like Johnny Mnemonic would be worse in black and white. Black and white doesn't go with cyberpunk at all. Okay.
I don't know.
No.
Good.
Peter Cunning, I went to see Jaws yesterday in IMAX. Yeah, Peter, and you have to go on. You can't leave us just with that sentence. Went to go to see Jaws.
Yeah, what did you think of it in IMAX?
Yeah, what do you think?
Did you see the 3D version of it?
Yeah, exactly. Paul Nolan, finished Sandman Season 1. Still to watch the bonus episode. I loved it and hope for a Season 2. I love the idea of the serial convention. That was a great one.
Yeah.
Polar Burr was in the chat. I saw Jaws in 3D at the theater yesterday. Awesome. And he took his daughter with him to see it. She really liked it. Awesome. Film Watcher. I I'll be honest, I don't own Jaws on anything, and I also don't own E.T. Well, Film Watcher, it's not too late to correct those two mistakes, okay? And Gary Banjo Sandwich, our birthday boy here, Dieter and his recap of last week's show is a testament to the reachability of this show. Okay, thank you, Gary, and happy birthday again. I think we covered that already. Okay, and Gary did go on. When these shows titles, I try to watch them and have seen many of his recommendations and purchases. Gary, thank you for that. Okay, go watch Baby Assassins. Great movie. Okay. Tom Jr. Jackson. I know, Tom, you're probably goofing here. They Call Her One Eye is a coffee and cake movie. If you're not goofing, Tom, back to the drawing board and getting your head cleaned up. What is a coffee and cake movie? Okay? Bill Barkley. What if you don't like coffee? Is it then tea and cake? Of course, Bill. Don't have to drink coffee, just some hot beverage. Okay? Doesn't have to be coffee. Victor Fontaine. All the 4K movies coming out are crushing me. Going to have to remortgage the house to cover the physical media bills. I'm right
but
there
that's
with you.
That's not such a bad thing as long as you got money to pay for that stuff. Come on, you got to buy it.
Yeah.
Who cares if you go in the poorhouse?
Yeah. I don't know about that. Victious says Dieter's accent makes these better. I don't know about that. And here we go. Lototh. Yes, free Enterprise in 4K. Do it now, Rob. And the Alex Sorba says free Enterprise in blue would work. So I think Alex Sorba would be fine if it would be just out on Blu-ray. That would be enough for him. And here we go. One of the new names I read in the live chat. I hope I pronounce his name right. John Wahlbecker said, I hope so. Really love Black Phone, and I can see more stories in that universe. I just hope it isn't a vanilla prequel about the first murders or Ethan Hawke's childhood. Michaelito, nice idea. Vision Films should put out Tango Shalom and Free Enterprise on one disc in 4K. Yeah, I know. Vision doesn't own Free Enterprise. Okay? So it's a tough sell, Michaelito. Altmetall, a friend from the Black Forest here in Germany. Phenomena is also great. Of course, we talked a little bit about Tenebrae. Just for the old metal in it. Well, Altmetall, I like, of course, the metal songs, but considering Phenomena actually doesn't really fit the movie, okay? But it's nice to hear that songs, okay? Then you talked a little bit about, of course, you were more knowledgeable about the show. Tim Hens, V was awesome in the 80s. Jane Bradley was freaking hot in that show.
Jane Badler. But yes, she was.
Bradley. He says Jane Bradley.
Yeah, it's Badler. Jane Badler, not Bradley.
Okay.
But that's okay. Who cares?
Not my mistake, Tim. That's on you. Okay. David Kogel. The miniseries was our friend David Kogel.
Yeah.
The miniseries was fantastic. I even liked the weekly series, which ended on a cliffhanger that will never be resolved.
It's true.
And I wanted to urge David to go and see Rammstein 2 because they were in his vicinity on Friday, but he has, like we all, some other bills to pay. So he unfortunately didn't see him, but he drove by the stadium and he said, yeah, you could hear some booms and bangs,
Yeah.
Considering Rammstein. Gary Banjo Sandwich Worthington, V was our greatest of the time. Polar Bear, back again. They showed Avatar and Black Panther Wakanda trailers in 3D before Jaws looked awesome. So both of them looked awesome. Then Bill Barkley asked, will No Way Home Extended Cut get a physical media release? Probably, I think so. Because Sony is milking that movie. So a physical media release is in the cards for the extended version. Let me just see. And some people were a little bit disappointed what Arrow is putting out for movies. And Video Under D How about Dragonheart? I'm totally down for that, Video Under D, but it's gotten a little nice release here in Germany from not 4K, but the picture is a little bit remastered. It is the best version that you can get for the movie. It comes with Dolby Atmos. It comes with a new DTS sound, but it's not, unfortunately, not 4K. And John Wahlbecker, I would love a 4K Dragonheart just for the soundtrack alone. Exactly. So, punking? Well, I've just cancelled my US version of Star Trek The Motion Picture Complete Adventure and ordered the UK one. Slightly cheaper, too.
And you get 2 more discs.
Yeah. That is really surprising to me, Rob, that the package is really different in every country, you know?
Yeah, I
some
mean...
get this, some get that stuff. So that's really, really surprised me. That not everyone gets the same, considering the outer shell looks, you are well getting the same. Michaelito says, the Disney Plus, Marvel, and Star Wars shows should be on physical media. There's no indication there will be. Disney is cannibalizing their own business. It's a bad business decision. Well, Michaelito, just in this show, if you heard, if the licensing stuff is true, perhaps other than the tuna train could go on there. You know?
Hey, man, we have our song. Well, I have my Song of the South Blu-ray.
I know.
And you will, too.
Yeah. And here, the new name I read in the live chat, it's pronounced, John Wahlbecker, but you can just call me Wally. That's how I introduced myself on your midnight show the other night when I came on. Well, John, I don't want to dispute your name, but considering your name looks really German to me, and I would say Weilbecher, actually. So John Weilbecher, but if I remember it, I will go with Wahlbecker, you know? But if I read it German, it would be Weilbecher. You should look into that, okay, about your name. Considering Rob was not a fan of his, but here, someone came to my help. Jake Slitter, Child's Play 2 is awesome. Shut up, Rob, okay? And Kondo 007, I've ordered all 3 Child's Play movies. Exactly, Kondo. Great. So, Rob, you have to help me out here because I don't know what he means. Temet Nosko. Rob, your thoughts on VHS grading. What is VHS grading?
What? Say that again?
Your thoughts on VHS grading.
VHS grading, Grading?
Yeah.
Grading, like in terms of their quality, or like if you're buying them as collectibles. I'm not sure what he means. I mean, VHS.
I mean either, Rob. I thought perhaps you.
I mean, I think
what
look, there are people that collect VHS tapes because of the artwork and everything on them, which totally understand that. But in terms of so like a comic book, VHSs can be graded, like if the packaging is intact.
No, okay.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
And
how well it is preserved.
Yes,
the
yes, how well it's preserved.
Now I get it.
But here's the thing: VHS is garbage. I mean, there's things that are on VHS that have never come out anywhere else, but it's NTSC video. It's terrible. It's unwatchable today, with our computer screens and our TV screens and everything we have. I mean, a regular HD screen is 6 times better resolution than what you get off a VHS tape. And actually, it's even greater than that because VHS is not a perfect NTSC resolution. It's terrible. Although there are things on VHS, obviously, that you want to collect because, oh my God, you can only get it on VHS. And I totally understand that. But VHS, for the most part, is bad. It's bad.
Totally. And you showed last week, Rob, the nice Cat People disc in 4K. And Eucalyptus, it's because I wasn't aware, Rob, that it is a Jerry Bruckheimer movie.
Oh, yeah.
Always nice to know. And Eucalyptus said it's obviously a Jerry Bruckheimer movie. Look at that tree on their cover, you know? The logo.
It's true.
Zeka said, I got Second Sight Stock Soldiers a while ago, or 2, and I can't wait to watch it when I finally get my 4K player. Well, Zeka, it's always the right way to have software first, before at some point you will get the hardware.
It's true.
And Eucalyptus, I bought my first physical media ever. Now I feel like I'm better than everyone. There you go, Eucalyptus. Doesn't it feel good to own physical media? Okay. Kenneth Graley Jr., I don't know if we talked about it. Some of the James Bond films were on 4K, on Prime Video recently.
Yeah, no, those are older transfers, but yeah, they've been on.
Okay.
The Daniel Craig movies are available on 4K, but none of the other ones are.
But they're the only ones, I believe.
I mean, I think that 2022 is the 60th anniversary of the Bond franchise, and how come? I mean, I know at the Amazon sale, they probably didn't know what to do with the Bond movies if they even wanted to give them a physical release. I can't believe that there's no 60th anniversary box set. But it is only, it's September 11th. There's still time. They could announce something for the holidays, because I would love to get all the Bond movies in 4K. But I'd like to get new transfers with Dolby Atmos and all that.
Another super chat that we missed came from Hitchhiker42. Did you see my super chat last week about the Highlander art? And I did not like it. Would prefer the original art because of the special edition you showed us coming on.
Yeah, that art's not great.
But considering the Poltergeist stuff, everything is fine now.
It's better.
Considering other cover artwork, okay? The Tomb of Dracula. Anyone looking forward to the new Hellraiser? I'm actually totally looking forward, because it has nothing to do with it. But considering Hulu and Prey was such a great movie, my hopes are up that perhaps the Hellraiser movie will be as good as Prey was. So
yeah, I mean the female equivalent of she can certainly come to my house and tear my soul apart.
Do we have any release date, Rob? In October, I believe it will come out.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think it's October.
October, nice. Michael Lido, I would have seen The Blob if I weren't seen Jaws in 3D. Actually, now I want to see Jaws in 3D again. It was that good. It's nice to hear those 3D comments, Rob. And considering your friend Charles Lazarica reminded me that Dawn of the Dead will get a 3D release.
Okay, yes. Now, here's the thing about Dawn of the Dead. One of my favorite. I know I'm holding up my hands. Look, I'm in the Phantom Zone. The thing about I've seen Dawn of the Dead in 3D, and it was terrible because they didn't color correct it before they did a 3D conversion. Now, it's very possible that they've taken the new 4K version of Dawn of the Dead and post-converted it to 3D, because obviously Second Sight. If they've done that, I would absolutely go see it again. If it's the old 3D Dawn of the Dead, it's pretty much garbage and not worth seeing.
But I think it's a newer release.
Well, that's what I don't know. And if it's new, I would go see it. But if it's
I wasn't aware, Rob, that there was a 3D release of the movie.
Yeah, and there was a 3D version which I actually saw in a theater, and it was interesting because Richard Rubinstein spoke about it. I mean, he was the producer of Dawn of the Dead, a partner of George Romero's, and one of the big problems with Dawn of the Dead no one could get access to the original negative elements because Rubinstein, I mean, he even said when he was speaking after this, he was talking about how he believed that Dawn of the Dead was worth, $100 billion, and it's a cult title. Everyone loves Dawn of the Dead who grew up with it, but nowadays, things like The Walking Dead, the effects technology has so surpassed what was capable for them in 1978, that it's really hard for people to go back and watch Dawn of the Dead if they're zombie fans and take it seriously, because of what you've seen with effects technology is extraordinary, and so he's significantly overvalued Dawn of the Dead. But thank God, since then, cooler heads prevailed, and we got the amazing Second Sight version, and it's incredible. So
So for me, it only made sense that it would be a newer conversion.
I would hope so. I didn't hear anything about Dawn of the Dead being post-converted, the new transfer. But if they did do the new transfer, absolutely go see it. If it's the old 3D version, don't.
Okay. And Tom Jr. Jackson is live. The new Hellraiser movie is coming out October 7th. So
that's cool. So it's right around the corner.
Away.
Sweet.
Right around the corner. Big Disc Energy was in the live chat. Always go with the opposite of Cambier opinion. Great guideline. Big This Energy. Great guideline, okay?
That frequently happens.
Lord Toth, is Wormwood any good, though? Of course, Wormwood is any good, Lord Toth, because, like Rob would always say, these two movies have authorship and they accomplished what they set out to do, in my book. So, they are great apocalypse movies. Wormwood. Okay. Altmetall, I'm hesitating with X, but I like Ty West's other movies. Is it any great? Come on, Altmetall. If you're already on board with Ty West and his other movies, and now you're hesitant about X, get on that son. X was great. Like the other Ty West movies was. John Weilbecher or Wahlbecker, I almost always watch Rollerball and Running Man as a double feature. I watch one and tend to really need to watch the other. So, nice little double feature. And considering, Rob, your slogan, I always translated it to German. But Stubble McShay thinks Dieter is just talking German rubbish at the end of the show. Well, Stubble, considering you watched Star Wars in German, you probably know German. Did I talk rubbish at the end? Perhaps. But I'm not. Stubble. It is, I hope, a good translation of Rob's slogan. That was the live chat, Rob, from last week.
Well, thank you. Now, Dieter, do you have more discs to show?
Yeah.
Why don't
Before I show more disc, Rob, what did I watch this week? Finally, Rob, I got around to this movie, The Cursed. I don't know if you heard about it. This is the US version. Really nice werewolf movie. Really liked it. And Rob, there was a scene, considering we are horror fans, I really was shocked about it, Rob, which seldomly happened. And it will come out, Rob, if you don't have it, Rob.
Yo. You were shocked about a scene in this movie. What was that scene? Yeah. What happened in that scene?
Should I really describe it, Rob?
Yes, because I want to see you get uncomfortable.
There was a gypsy people that they got rid of the land.
Pardon me, we have to say we have to say Romani people now. We can't say gypsy.
Okay.
That's technically, sorry. I mean, even though, I'm just saying.
And one of those, what should I call it?
Romani. Hell, just say gypsy. People know what you're talking about. But I just want to just tell everybody, it's Romani. I get it. What happened?
He got his hands and feet cut off, straw put in, and put up as a scarecrow.
Wow.
Yeah, Rob. I was wow too, Rob. I was wow too, And then, of course, those Romani people put a curse on the land and the people. But Rob, if you don't have it, wait a little. It comes out on 4K in the UK.
Okay. So it's recommended.
So for me, it's a recommendation, considering werewolf movies. But I get it, considering with every werewolf movie, there is always criticism about the design of the werewolves, because they are here a little bit more, I would say, alien-like, but really nice movie. And considering when they practically eradicated the Romanian people, they were just done in a wide shot. You have the tents down the hill, and they just stayed on the wide shot. So I don't know how long it took to plan that shot, because you have only the camera stays only on that wide shot. They are writing down, they have some conversation, but you don't hear what they are saying. Then the shooting starts, stuff goes up in flames. It was really greatly done, and perhaps you as editor would go, I'm workless here. I just will use the wide shot. So that was a great scene, but I don't know how much planning went into that scene. Great. So a little recommendation from me. And then I went back, Rob, and watched Red Dawn, considering the Russian stuff with the Ukraine. It's gotten a little bit more ahead of its time, perhaps back in the day. Yeah, but it's definitely a product of its time. I always think, Rob, if I watch something like this from the 80s, some of my younger friends, would I really show them Red Dawn? It's a really unbloody movie, unfortunately. And I think this would have made a great TV series back in the day, because they're just hopping through the month, you have September, November, so it's a little bit too surface level, considering the stuff with the war stuff. So perhaps a TV series would be nice. So this is more of a nostalgia trip for me.
I'll tell you one thing:
Yeah.
the parachutes when the Russian paratroopers land in the field in the high school.
Yeah.
I think when Red Dawn came out, I think I was still in high school.
More of that kind of atmosphere I wanted to have in
but it was terrifying. I was like, oh my God, what that must have been just terrifying. And
the action scenes are already at the final stage. You don't see them sneaking up on them, putting the MG for shooting. They are always staged that they are already done. Here we have those shots. Okay, so it's more of a nostalgia watch.
But
then
it does
say,
have. It has one of my favorite lines in any or exchanges in any movie when someone asks Powers Booth, "Well, who's on our side?" and he says 600 million screaming Chinamen, and someone says, "But I thought there were 1 billion screaming Chinamen," and he says, "There were." I love that exchange.
Considering physical media, I haven't got around to it, Rob. The battle at Lang Cheng-Chin, Rob, and I've already gotten the second one. So finally, perhaps now I can get around to watching both.
Those are the Korean War movies?
The Chinese War.
China. Okay.
Which I think they really have made a lot of money in China, and they both run. The second one 150 minutes, and the first one almost 3 hours. So this will be a long day.
I gotta tell me how those are. I'd love to get those. I want to see that shit.
Yeah, I will tell you. The battle at where's Jeffrey Moore when you need him? Lake Changchin, I would pronounce it. 1 and 2. And we're always speaking of, will this streaming TV show come out on Blu-ray? And this, or better 4K, but it's just a Blu-ray. But as much, a lot of people liked it. I liked it too. I had to get it from the UK. Peacemaker is out on Blu-ray. It comes a little bit with some special features, but probably would just suspect they are not that long. And of course, same cover, but it has nice inside here. Considering John Cena on his
nice. I love that show. That show is great.
Yeah. So it's always nice that it still came out, because Peacemaker is still, Rob, not available here in Germany because we don't have HBO Max, and it wasn't even on Sky. So still at the moment you have no chance to see Peacemaker legally. So
take to the high seas on that one, buddy.
Yeah, Peacemaker. Then I was so happy when that movie came out last year in the States, and I was totally happy with the Blu-ray already. And I thought this movie would never see the light of day on Blu-ray. So I was happy. And this year, Rob, what happens? Okay, it came out in 4K. Drive with Mark Dacascos, one of my favorite gems of the 90s. It's come out in the UK and in the States this week, I believe, with the same cover.
Well, how did you feel when Mark Dacascos showed up in John Wick Part 3?
It was nice to see him on the big screen for once.
I thought it was good too. He was great. Yeah.
And it comes, of course, the cover artwork is a little bit wonky, but at least way better than the US cover where Kadim Hardison looked like Eddie Murphy from Beverly Hills Cop. And here we got normal. We have a reversible cover artwork, and the poster is inside. With
didn't you get me Crying Freeman that stars Mark Dacascos?
Yeah,
in 4K. You got me that.
4K, exactly. Which came out in Germany. I think it was Cape Ledrow, but I'm not sure anymore. But this is just the 4K, comes not with a Blu-ray, but it has all the special features on it, and it comes with a Dolby Atmos soundtrack now. But I haven't watched it in 4K. One of my little action gems. One of the first movie where the Hong Kong fighting style got a little bit into a Western movie. Out in the States as well. And lastly, 2 cat in the back, 2 nice media books, but if the movie will hold up, I don't know. The first one is called Ride. You have reached your final destination.
Okay.
So,
All right.
it's about perhaps an Uber driver who takes more than just your money. I don't know about it. So, Ride is the first one. And of course, if someone talks, hey Rob, I like Star Trek Into Darkness. Of course, Rob gets triggered. Then, and this is the movie Triggered, Cat in the Bag. I hear it's a little bit of Battle Royale-ish, so I hope it's at least somewhat bloody and entertaining. And I decided for this cover, it comes with with different cover artwork. This one I liked the most is the last one for this week. Triggered,
Wow, that's
Cat in the Bag.
that's some good stuff. Okay, you got a lot of movies that I don't even know what they are, and I would never own.
Exactly.
So congratulations.
That's why you have me. That's why you have
That's
me
why
on the
we're
show,
friends,
Rob.
buddy. That's why.
Legitimate your purchases.
It's true.
Look at that crazy shit that German douche is buying.
Well, we got news. We already showed the big news with Criterion, but
Exactly.
new releases. Some pretty interesting stuff. 8 Mile. 8 Mile coming out in 4K if you're an Eminem fan, and I am an Eminem fan. So 8 Mile is coming out in 4K, which is exciting. Now, Sony, as we know, has been releasing the Sony Pictures Classics. The third one is coming out. But, I mean, Columbia. The Columbia Classics have been coming out. Well, Sony in general, but Sony itself, Sony Pictures Classics, that label, is doing what the Columbia Classics are doing, because it's all coming from Sony, but they're releasing this 30th anniversary 4K Blu-ray collection. Most of the stuff that's in this box has never been on 4K Blu-ray before, but here are some of the things that it's got. The Tilda Swinton movie Orlando, and it's a 4K restoration with Dolby Vision and HDR. The Celluloid Closet, which is a documentary that was produced and narrated by Lily Tomlin about the 100-year history of gay men and women on the silver screen. That has a 4K restoration and Dolby Vision. The City of Lost Children, which I love, Jean-Pierre Jeunet, director of Amélie. That's coming out with a 4K restoration with Dolby Vision and HDR, and he does a brand new audio commentary. Tom Tickwer's Run Lola Run in there, 4K. Run Lola Run, Dolby Vision, and HDR presentation. SLC Punk with Matthew Lillard, the punk rocker in Salt Lake City. And what's really interesting is while we didn't get in, I went down and I was staying at our hotel over the weekend to go to D23, and I met one of the producers of SLC Punk. So that's coming out in 4K. Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, which I already have in 4K, but I don't know if they're doing a new restoration, but they might have, because it's 4K and it's Dolby and HDR, so that's great. Guillermo del Toro's The Devil's Backbone, which I love, is coming out with a 4K restoration with Dolby Vision and HDR. The Pedro Almodovar Volver comes out, and I love that movie, and that's also in 4K and Dolby Vision. Philip Seymour Hoffman in Schenectady, New York is coming out, and love that, obviously in 4K and Dolby Vision. Still Alice, the Julianne Moore film, when she's losing her marbles. That's really good. 4K and Dolby Vision. And finally, Call Me By Your Name, the movie with everyone's favorite handsome cannibal, Armie Hammer, about two boys, Timothy Chalamet and Armie Hammer, meeting and falling in love. So that's coming out. Look, I'm excited about this box set. Totally will buy this box set. And kudos to Sony for allowing them to celebrate the 30th anniversary of Sony Pictures Classics with a great lineup. Yeah. Now here's a disc. Here's a disc that's coming out in 4K that must be purchased by everyone. The classic, the Rankin Bass classic Christmas specials. Santa Claus is coming to town, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, and Frosty the Snowman. Come on, man. Who would have ever thought these would be on 4K? I wouldn't. I will buy them because I'm a Jew. And why not? I love Christmas specials. That's what I can say. As a Jew who loves Christmas specials, I grew up with them. I love them. I will not apologize, and I will probably buy these on 4K. So sue me. So we got that coming. Now here finally is the cover art for Wayne's World. Wayne's World. The 30th anniversary. Once again, I gotta say, all this bad Photoshop bullshit, but I kind of like this cover. I mean, you know.
Just shows the spirit of the movie for me.
I think so too, right? It's not awful, but it's not great.
No. Like we said, Rob, everything from Poltergeist is a step up.
It's true. You know, it is absolutely true. Now, this is interesting. Here is the Madonna movie with Patricia Arquette, Desperately Seeking Susan. And this is a full-blown special release with a booklet and art cards, you know, and this is coming out from Final Cut Entertainment from Britain. And it's got it's a Blu-ray. Wait, you've never heard of the label? Final Cut? No. I don't think I've heard of the label either. But hey, maybe it's their first release.
Yeah,
and it does have a new interview with Susan Seidelman and Sarah Pillsbury, the producer, and a book on Madonna. I like this movie. I'll get this. Why not? It's cool.
Right.
Desperately Seeking Susan, special edition. And then, of course, I don't know if this is the first time Desperately Seeking Susan has come out. I really don't, I don't know. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know, because I have never bought it before, so I don't know if it's the first time. Now, this Dieter, I got to tell you, this disc, even though, again, I've already bought this on 4K. I own this movie on Laserdisc. I've owned it on I mean, not 4K. It's not on 4K. I've owned it on Laserdisc. I have it on Blu-ray. It is my favorite Hammer horror movie. This Hammer Studios, 60s, 70s. I think this was made in 1970. Vampire Circus. 50th anniversary Blu-ray. Did it come out in 72? I love this movie. It's been on Blu-ray before. It says on Blu-ray for the first time, you lie. It's been on Blu-ray before because I have it. Yes, I think for the UK, for the first time it's coming out. I love Vampire Circus. I think it's great, and it's got some special features, and they interview Dave Prowse and Joe Dante, and it's got a bunch of other special features. It's probably I just want to get this because it's got a slipcase, and it's awesome. so I'm very excited to get Vampire Circus, this version of it, because why not? Even though I have it, who cares? Buy it again. Now, Andre Zaleski, who made the movie Possession with Sam Neill and Isabelle Adjani in 1981.
But there was an Elizaview show about it.
Yes, we did an Elizaview show about Possession. They are releasing 3 early Zaleski movies that I'm very excited about. They're putting them out on Blu-ray. The first is The Third Part of the Night, which I've never seen, that I've always wanted to see. The second is The Devil, which I have seen, and it's I love this movie, and I'm going to be very happy to get it. The artwork is great. And then finally, I can't believe it, on the Silver Globe is his unfinished science fiction epic that was actually confiscated when he was making it in Poland by the communist government. They took it away from him, so it's not finished. But
it's not finished, but it's getting a release. Okay?
It's getting released now. I've never seen this movie. They've shown it at film festivals before, but it's like this. For me, it's a grail watch.
Unfinished in what way, Rob?
They didn't shoot it all. They just didn't shoot it all.
Okay.
And there is a version. They made a version that you can, that has kind of it's not quite complete, but you can watch it. I just can't believe that I'm going to finally be able to buy it, because I'm a big fan of his. So hey, I say bring it on. If we're going to get that on the Silver Globe, I never thought I would ever get that. And yep, look, it's coming. It's coming. Good for us. So that's very exciting. Also, Walter Hill's. I love Walter Hill. He's got a new Western coming, but Walter Hill's The Driver with Ryan O'Neal, that obviously Nicholas Winding Refn took some inspiration from when he made Drive. That's finally coming out. It's a new 4K restoration. I think Studio Canal is doing this, and so I'm excited to get that, The Driver. And then finally, Needful Things, a Stephen King book that I actually thought was way too long, but I liked it. I think this is actually it's an instance where it might be better than the book itself. Now, I could be wrong about this. I could be wrong about that, but Needful Things is coming out. I'll definitely buy it.
That movie in a long time.
Yeah, I really like Max von Sydow in it. I'm excited to see that come to 4K. It's kind of weird what comes to 4K these days.
Yeah.
But now I've got the sales figures. Somebody contacted me or sent me a message and said I didn't understand. I wasn't getting these sales figures correct. Like I wasn't getting what they really meant.
The percentage somewhat.
Yeah. So
I think this was
yeah. So here's okay, these are the top 10 Blu-ray bestsellers for the week. These are the Blu-ray bestsellers. These are the best-selling discs for the week on Blu-ray. Jurassic World, My Hero Academia, Sonic the Hedgehog, Doctor Strange, The Black Phone, Jurassic World, The Ultimate Collection, Fantastic Beasts, Game of Thrones, Dune, and Lost City. Now, those are the top 10 Blu-ray bestsellers for the week. Now we have...
back because of House of the Dragon.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and they just re-released it. It was on sale at Amazon. They had a special sale. Yeah. So, So
nice.
that's good. Now, here are the top 5 home media sellers for the week. Now, this is everything. This includes DVD as well. Okay, this is everything because DVD still sells big. Now, the Blu-ray, the percentage shows how many Blu-rays of the top 5 home media sellers for the week. What are Blu-rays? So Jurassic World Dominion is the top bestseller. 57% of the physical media sold was, in fact, Blu-ray. 1883, A Yellowstone Origin Story, which I loved, is 25% Blu-ray, which is interesting because it's a TV show. Sonic the Hedgehog, 44% sold were Blu-rays. And that makes sense because it's a kid's movie and they buy DVDs. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, 57% was Blu-ray. And then My Hero Academia World Heroes Mission is 100% because it was only released on Blu-ray. It was not released on DVD. So, I mean, that's something that, that's how that works.
Often get only a DVD release.
Yes,
sometimes.
That's a thing. TV series sometimes only get DVD releases, and that's why those figures are what they are. And then we've got here the top 5 Blu-ray 3D sellers, and now this is total unit sales. So everything for Blu-ray and DVD, all of that. Again, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, of all the Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom copies that are sold, 3.52% of them are 3D. That is a very small number. And as you can see, it's the same usual suspects. Dune 3D, Top Gun 3D, Pokemon, Detective Pikachu 3D, Jurassic World 3D. I mean, the percentages of sales are basically next to nothing. But they've been consistent week after week. So they are. And finally, the top 5 4K bestsellers for the week. Now, these are just 4K discs. And the percentage of total unit sales. So Game of Thrones that were sold, number 1, these are the 4K versions, and they represent 73% of total unit sales. So of the total units that were sold, Game of Thrones, these 4K, this list represents 73% of the total units sold because it was brand new. You know, they released this, a cheap 4K set. Dirty Dancing 4K, Dune 4K, No Time to Die 4K, Everything Everywhere All at Once in 4K. These were the top 4K bestsellers for the week, and you can see the percentage of how many they sold, and of their. So, like, even though Game of Thrones, they did sell others than 4K, but the 4K version that were sold represents 73% of all units sold. So there you go. I mean, that's what's selling. It's always the same shit. It's funny because it seems like until a new title, a big title comes in, that'll go to the top of the list. But everything else is catalog titles that people have always wanted on 4K or seller stuff that has always sold. So
considering Game of Thrones, it's a combination of House of the Dragon being available and Game of Thrones, the complete collection, being a Schnäppchen.
Yes, you are exactly correct. That is exactly right, sir. A combination of Game of Thrones, new interesting Game of Thrones, and a Schnäppchen. Absolutely. I don't have Game of Thrones in 4K. I've got my beautiful wooden box set in Blu-ray, but I want to get the 4Ks.
But it's nice to see, considering people who are watching House of Dragon have HBO, and they actually could watch Game of Thrones there.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see they getting the physical release of the titles.
We've got some more super chats have come in.
Yeah.
HoopBaby07 says a Disney Plus social media hybrid could mean clips of Thor doing random stuff, live watch with celebrities, section for Make-A-Wish or something. I mean, you could do that. I don't know. The problem is there's always rights issues when you're going to use or monetize clips in that way. You have to talk to SAG and the different guilds. It's a big pain in the ass. But you could. Michael Preston says, I just watched my favorite fantasy show of the year, Season 5 of Cobra Kai. It was great, and I just ordered the 4K Star Trek movies. Sorry about D23. Yeah, but you know what? They didn't really they didn't announce anything that we hadn't known about, so it wasn't the bombs that we thought would drop didn't necessarily drop. So, but Michael Preston, his favorite fantasy show of the year is Cobra Kai. That's hilarious. The Alex Zorba says, this is interesting. What are the chances Criterion can get at the Fox library before Disney makes it disappear? For example, classics like Blood and Sand, 41, Rock On Boys. Look, here's my thing about those movies. I don't think that there's anybody at Disney who's paying attention to that library. When they say everything is up for licensing, maybe Criterion will license these films. I don't know what they're going to do unless they're going to put these classics up on Disney Plus. I mean, I maybe Criterion's thinking about that, but they're only going to pick certain movies as well, so they wouldn't pick every classic from the Fox library. There'd have to be a reason for them to put it out. I don't know. We'll see. Brian Doyle says the disc father by physical media reported during the week that Dune has sold over 600,000 copies since its release in January of this year. I think that that's probably very true because it's a demo disc. I mean, that disc, the 4K is unbelievable. I mean, it's
that's a nice sum.
It is, and maybe that factored into why they finally greenlit Dune 2. I hope that did. I mean, I think it's great.
That's why they probably were waiting how the title would be selling.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. Mark Spector's avatar said, "Please do Phantom Zone, Rob, once every show, if there's even no reason to." Okay. I don't even know what that was. Help us, help us. I wonder if I can I'll get a thing and make the square pop out and go.
Little rectangle here.
Yeah, take off. The same sound effect that the Invasion of the Body Snatchers have. So there's that. And so now we're caught up with those. So thank you for all.
I have one last letter, Rob.
All right.
For us. Once again, Rob, from Vincent from France. Because I missed that last week. And he says, "Hi Rob, guten Tag Dieter. It's nearly been 1 year since the last full episode, number 83, with guest George Feldenstein, besides Rob's phone calls. In the last 12 months, Warner Archive has released many long-awaited films: The Wonderful World of the Brothers Grimm, Angels with Dirty Faces, Ivanhoe, Party Girl, The Private Lives of Elizabeth, and XX, as well as lesser-known gems, Step by Step, They Won't Believe Me. For me, this label, among others, has been a joy and many enjoyable nights discovering and rediscovering great movies in premium quality. I hope you get an opportunity to invite a visit of Warner Archive, or as Rob calls him, the Willy Wonka of home video, back on the show to convey my thanks. Thanks. And thanks, Vincent, for your letter."
Well,
your praise.
I mean, George Feltenstein is certainly one of my favorite people in the entertainment business. He knows his stuff. You know, I've been talked to him. I talked to him recently, and I think, you know, he got let go from Warner Brothers when AT&T took over, and they realized that they needed him because of his institutional knowledge. And it's a film company. If you don't have somebody that knows your film company library, what good are you? You know, so they brought him very smartly, brought him back. And now, you know, with the sale to Discovery, everything is back in flux again. So George is still at Warner Brothers, but I think they're waiting to see, will the axe of Zaslav fall on Warner Archive? I mean, I would say that it shouldn't, because, you know, every time that Warner Archive takes something out of the Warner Vault and does a remastering of it, that can go right on to HBO Plus or HBO Max, whatever they're going to call it, whatever the new name of it's going to be. And when you future-proof these things, and having something in 4K is pretty much future-proofing it, but even if you have it at 2K. So the work that Feltenstein and his team over at Warner Archive are doing is only for the benefit of the studio catalog, the rich catalog that Warner Brothers actually has, one of the great catalogs of all time. So it would be silly to not continue on with the work. And, you know, next year, 2023, is the 100th anniversary of Warner Brothers. It's the 100th anniversary of the studio, and it's like the 50th anniversary of The Exorcist. Now, I cannot confirm nor deny anything about a 4K release of The Exorcist, but there is work that is being done on that film. So hopefully we will, in fact, get a 4K release of The Exorcist for the 50th anniversary. And both cuts. I mean, the theatrical version, the director's cut, whatever. But, you know, there's a lot of good stuff coming. I don't know what that is, but I've asked George to come on the show, and I think he just wanted to make sure that things settle down a little bit more at the studio before he did so. But he's definitely going to come back. And I think, you know, I would expect him in the next, maybe more toward the end of the year, when he can probably discuss more about what Warner's going to be releasing in their 100th anniversary year. Hopefully a lot of great stuff. I mean, I'd love to see George. Can I please get a 4K of Robert Zemeckis' Contact? I want Contact. Can somebody get me Contact in 4K? Come on, bruh. Make it happen, dude. What do you think?
Considering Warner, Rob, I always wanted to talk with you a little about that rumor, considering money is tight at Warner, considering they can only release 2 movies left in this year. Is there something true with this rumor?
I don't think. I mean, I don't think that's true. You know, they're doing, obviously they're doing cost cutting measures, but you know, they make money. The thing about releasing movies on video is it's a revenue stream. You know, whether it's on streaming or whether it's physical media, as long as they make more revenue than they spend. But yeah, it's a revenue stream. I don't think, it's not that they don't have. Here's the thing about studios. A lot of people think that studios are sitting on some vault of money somewhere. I mean, that's not how it works. When they make movies, they borrow money from banks. The studios do have money. They have operating budgets, but those operating budgets are fueled by what they make over the course of a year. And so they only have a certain amount of money in the pipe to make things. And when they run out, they're like, there's no more money. You know, they can actually, it's not that the money disappears, it's that their budget is used up. And then somebody has to go ask for more money, and they have to figure out, okay, well, where's this money going to come from? What part of the studio, if we want to make more movies, you already exceeded your budget. Warner Archive, and I'm not saying Warner Archive did exceed their budget, I'm just using it as an example. If they've exceeded their budget for the year, they don't have enough money to produce more discs. And unless somebody at the studio gives them money, and then the studio has to ask, okay, well, I want to give you more money, but where is this money going to come from? Like, and there's no more extra money. You use the money that was allocated, so they have to find it somewhere else. But I think it will all be fine.
Because I was just thinking, Rob, about, if I would go back, let's say when we start with the COVID, from Tenet on, they hadn't really had a major hit.
No, Warner Brothers has not.
Considering Fantastic Beasts, even Dune, it's great that they're selling the discs. There always were bringing in the budget again, but the Batman did money, but it was expensive.
Yeah.
So they really didn't have a big hit like, Joker, perhaps, where you have a 50 million budget, which makes $1 billion. So the Fantastic Beasts was a flop, Matrix was a flop. So there was not really. And with their strategy, considering showing the movies on HBO Max immediately, so perhaps money could really be tight at the
Yeah,
moment.
no, it absolutely could be. Stub McShave says that there's a package coming to me tomorrow. Don't lose it. Yeah, because he sent me a CD. He sent me a shirt, and I got this CD. He sent me a CD. I don't know whatever happened to it. I'm sure I'm going to find it though, because we've been cleaning up all this kind of stuff around here, and the final phase of moving in is happening, and the final phase of the Rob Observatory is happening. So that's good.
Nice.
But yeah, so I guess this brings us to the end of our adventure today.
Yeah, of our adventure. And once again, Rob, if you can see Rammstein, do it for me, and promise me one thing, Rob. If you do go see Rammstein, you can make a picture before the show, put it on Instagram, but when the show starts, please put your smartphone away and soak the show in.
Oh, dude, I don't. I'm not. Look, anybody. When I was at John Williams last week, there was a guy who had his camera up and was shooting every piece.
Rob, come on. Don't watch Rammstein through your smartphone, Rob.
Don't watch. No, it's just ridiculous. I mean, when you go to a concert, you have to take it in, dude. I'm not one of those guys. Totally. Not one of those guys.
Awesome, Rob. Awesome.
So there you go.
On that note, as Double would say, let me talk some rubbish here. Jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu hören, die du noch zu wait, I was actually talking rubbish, Rob. Let me start anew. Jede Person, die du triffst, hat eine Geschichte zu erzählen, die du noch zu hören hast. Alles, was du tun musst, ist zuhören.
Every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. And with that, I would say to everyone, have a better day. And we're clear.